we're still at these all-time highs, AJ, and this is feeling like a bit of a pullback. I think we had a bit of a pullback yesterday. Where are we at? What's driving the market? I mean, it's still
Rhetoric.
middle of the summer, right?
I know it's rhetoric, dude. It is totally rhetoric. That's my interpretation, of course, and that's why people tune in, is to hear what we think. But retail sales incredibly fantastic. Let me pull those up. Retail sales were incredibly fantastic, and that gave me the feeling, and I'm one of the last people to believe this, Sip, but it gave me the feeling that maybe this whole discussion of a soft landing is possible because people are still buying. And when you factor out, retail sales came in flat. But when you factor out vehicles, right, cars, and you factor out cars and gas, there's an uptick in sales of everything else. And that to me is a positive sign that people are still out there moving the dollar along, right? And so that, and I feel like on Tuesday we reached an all time high. And so I feel like investors were on my side saying, hey, that's a great thing because with the inflation reducing, but not killing sales, that's a good thing. And in fact, the next day, and this is not as looked at, but the industrial production numbers. So this is where we are as far as making stuff here. Industrial production up higher than expected, and the capacity utilization rate, that basically is how much of a person's time or of a labor unit's time is being used, to manufacture stuff. And 78.8 is high. That's great. That means we're getting a lot out of all of our workers, being very efficient, if you will. So that's all great signs. But I think what's going down is a lot of rhetoric against Taiwan and China, right? And that's one thing that maybe excites, mainstream America, right? It's a lot of rhetoric during this presidential election about how Taiwan and China have taken our business from us and we should tax them or stop, trading with them. Wall Street knows that's a bad idea, right? Wall Street knows that our economies are very much intertwined. And, no matter what we're talking about with political stuff, doing business with these big partners is a very good idea, especially Taiwan, right? I think there was some rhetoric around how Taiwan should be paying us, US, for defending them against mainland China. And that's just causing Wall Street to get the jitters. And we're seeing a heck ton of money moving from the high flyers, probably also on sentiment that they've reached highs and that it's unsustainable. But, your Nvidias, your Microsofts, and Apples, we've seen them selling off, and we've been seeing value stocks and defensive plays get a lot of money in the last 3 days. In fact, we even got a confirmed reversal in our chart. If I put my moving average convergence divergence indicator, the one that people can go and download, if I put that on my chart, you'll see that we got a clear top signal found, right? Got our red arrow. And so that's just telling us that, hey, man, we're on for a much needed amount of distribution after all this accumulation.